Hey guys, thanks for coming back. Today we're talking about all things VR.
We could be there right now.
But we're not.
Hey guys, welcome back to the IGL Podcast. I am your host, Justin Gentile.
And I'm Timothy McGorry. Thanks for checking us out at HollywoodRedux.com.
And today we are going to be talking about all things VR, baby. Woo! That's my world, and we're living in it. But not only all the big news that came out of E3, but
it's a lot of people's world.
Just an exciting time to be alive. This is what an amazing time. The prophecies have come true, and VR has been descended and handed down from the gods, and here we are. So what's been tickling your fancy? What's been exciting you? Speaking of stuff that came out of E3, we just talked about it last week, and we referred to it. Finally, we could talk about it now. Batman VR. What do you say? Sorry, you're just so excited.
It's the base.
It just makes
fucking
me
guy.
gesture wildly.
The language. I'm excited. I want to just go in that bat cave. And
since when have you not wanted to go in that bat cave?
I want to check out what's going on with some bat crimes. And
so this seems like a
PSVR. Eyes of
PSVR.
Mr. Wayne himself. It looks good. It looks clean. Again, it was like a little... So I didn't see too much, but what I did see, I liked, and from what I heard, I think we talked about last week. I heard the story was like Jim Lee and showing it to Geoff Jones,
just taking it out of his day to really get blown away. You know, the first second I heard about it, I was like, it all made sense to me. It all clicked. It's on PSVR. You have your PlayStation Move controllers, and I said, "Oh, that makes so much sense. What am I going to do in Batman VR? I'm going to go to my utility belt. I'm going to grab a batarang. I'm going to throw a batarang. That's going to be great." I said, "What am I have a grappling hook. Boom. I'm going to grapple, shoot up there, grapple hook." It's got like I saw the possibilities and I understood exactly what it was, and that's I think so key for converting consumers to this new idea for VR is that like. You not only are you're setting the expectations for them, but the expectations I think is going to be even more so when people realize that they really are going to be there and be in the Batcave and watch, spoilers, Nightwing get his neck broken or something. But there's been gameplay. People have tried it out, and it seems pretty cool if you read up on it. I was not lucky enough to try that out. I've previewed some other upcoming titles that are really exciting, but we'll get into that in a second. They're doing demos.
Did you see the Star Wars?
X-Wing experience.
Jinx.
I think
now you can't talk for the rest of the podcast until you buy me a soda.
Oh, I owe you a Coke. Plug sponsors.
I said soda. Love you, Atlanta.
I love the way they titled that too. It's like Battlefront, an X-Wing experience, or like a Battlefront VR experience. It sounds so like classy. I think it's really cool.
It's certainly like you remember playing the old like. The closest thing you get to VR is those like car seat, right? Like the old, Dave & Buster's or whatever, and it's like,
or they have Star Wars Battle Pod. You can go play at your Dave & Buster's now, and that's like kind of a spherical experience, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Help us out if you want to maybe give us a tour at Dave & Buster's. The point being. Other games that are exciting. If you want to check out actually some PSVR experiences, you can make an appointment at your local Best Buy. They were doing that recently, where you can try out a couple of their demos. There's like an army tank demo they could play. I think you could also try out Farlands.
Isn't there? I think I remember reading that like they're doing a 30. Like the VR is going to be available like starting on like. Soon, like July something, and then it's gonna like it, or right now, like it's already in about like 30 stores. Like you can go in to some GameStops, and then they're expanding to 300.
Just as a demo, just to like get people into the idea, to let people try it out. I think Best Buys and places like that, or Vive is also set up at the Microsoft Store, which we'll get into. Farlands though was I think the other big PSVR title. So PSVR has their exclusive controller, and what's interesting is about Farlands, that's going to be the first. VR experience where you're independently controlling the gun and your view, which is that's a first. It's a first. People were lining up. That was apparently like the longest line at E3 to be able to demo, and that looks pretty cool. Survivaling on some alien planet, being able to get your resources.
I heard a lot of people waiting for the Splatoon novelization. With this kind of signature with the
there was
author
a Q&A with the author of the Splatoon series. It was very popular. The other thing I was going to get into today, besides the VR experiences, a lot going on between Oculus and Vive. Oculus had their touch controllers. which, Vive's already got their motion controllers, so...
Which is a lot better than Nintendo's no touch, no VR controllers.
Nothing. No games, no touch, no controllers, no Tendo is what we'll call it.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got to stop beating them up. The exclusivity rights between Oculus being owned by Facebook, are they paying for the exclusive rights? That was a big story that came out. Some developers of Serious Sam came out and said that we were offered the exclusivity of Oculus, but we had to turn it down. And that's something that a lot of developers it's a necessity of the game industry these days. You need money to develop your passion projects. Where are you going to get that money? By signing your rights away,
Really quick, did you hear that story about Serious Sam? The working title was Indifferent. And then they're like, no.
Seriously?
Hey,
all right. Excuse me, guys. I coughed on the podcast.
This is our method. Interesting inputs, future technology, things that are actually happening, the right names for things. Me, farts and bananas.
Two of my favorite things.
The farts and bananas dynamic.
Only one of my favorite smells. The game that I got to try and experience, which is really mind-blowing, and I have to talk about it today before we wrap up.
Do it!
Back in Long Island, I got to visit, going to my sister's wedding, walk by the Microsoft store, and they had the HTC Vive set up. Really super excited. It was the first time I got to try a room-scale VR experience. The 3 demos that you're allowed to try were actually things that I've already kind of had experience with and stuff. And being a Gear VR user, I kind of looked on the side. I noticed that they had a game called Budget Cuts. If you've seen Budget Cuts, if you look up some gameplay videos, it looks to be a super interesting game. So I kind of want to explain the experience of playing that. Very reminiscent of the shirt you're wearing right here. So I think Budget Cuts is kind of a mix of GoldenEye and Portal. The difference being that with the room scale, I am there. So the game starts out, you're inside of a hallway, and you have your portal gun in one hand. There's no regular walking, very nausea prone in VR, any kind of movement. So the best kind of way to do your maneuverability, I guess you could say, was teleporting in the game. But everything had to be unlocked. So if there's a vent and I have to open that vent, I'm not going to go up to the vent and press B. I had to go up to the vent. I had to bend down. I had to grab the vent open, put the vent on the ground, and then teleport my gun through the hole in the vent to be able to get into the next room. And that kind of experience, that kind of immersivity, a word that I'm making up because I'm so blown away by this experience, was unparalleled.
I remember growing up and thinking, one day I'm going to be able to move a vent.
But the idea was that
who needs space travel and lasers when you get out?
It was these small movements that really made me feel like not only was I there and part of the experience, but it almost kicked up a feeling of curiosity in me that I haven't had since childhood. Honestly, a real wanting to play, wanting to explore this new world where, hey, if there's a safe down there and I don't have the key to the safe, I need to go through the drawers to be able to find that key. And it sounds so mundane, but just the act of actually viscerally going through the experience of doing it.
Also, if you ever want to just come over to my house and just rummage through my desk,
just look through things. There's a can of food here, $2 here. It's BioShock. It's just
there's not $2.
Why did someone?
No.
That was, we had gawkers,
I saw the gameplay footage. It does look really interesting and beautiful. It looks like your portal gun's like a teardrop kind of thing, so it's not it's not direct angular line where I'm this and more.
I was really zooming around,
flow to it and stuff.
Throwing knives at robots. That's something I had to do.
Seems ineffectual. I feel like if I was gonna build a robot, I would make it knife proof. Make your robots knife proof. That's terrible advice.
Well, that's why they call the game Budget Cuts, because they should have spent more money on the robots. If they would have spent more money on the robots, the knives would not work so good.
That's true.
But we had people stopping and staring. I didn't get to see him. I'm bumped up against a wall in VR thinking that I'm doing something else. But meanwhile, I have strangers in the mall walking by and staring at me. And that's the VR social experience, folks. That's kind of awesome. It's not just something we're going to be locked in our houses doing. It's going to be something we'll be able to share with others. They'll be able to see what we're experiencing. Walk a mile in someone else's shoes and I can watch. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it certainly makes the idea of turn-based gaming more fun. You're more. It's more interactive.
They have The Conjuring coming out. That's Insomniac Games developing for PSVR a magic dueling game, something that you'll be able to not only play with your friends, when you're home and your friends at their home, assuming you don't live together. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, that's the VR social experience, which I'm sure we'll get into in another episode coming up soon. But I just want to kind of go back there right now. So I think we're going to wrap it up for today. If there's anything you guys want us to play, if you want us to check it out, please tweet at us, like and comment and subscribe below.
Here's even something better. If you work for a company and you're like, you know what? I got all these damn games. There's too much space here. Send them to us.
We need to make sure these games work good.
Direct
We're here.
message me.
We can try those
Steam
for you.
codes.
Yeah, please. He plays Steam. I have a car. We'll go play your games. It's great. So follow us on Twitter. Tweet at us if you'd like to see us play or Twitch anything. Hopefully we can get the VR up and running on there so you could see us kind of in our worlds, in our experiences. But if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, my tag handle at Justin_Gentile.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's probably at Magori's Quest by now, but it also might be at Poor Comedian.
Could be any of them.
Quest is my Instagram.
You'll know because we'll be retweeting funny stuff.
All I do is just, it's like girls with butts that have like smooth as hell skin,
dollars, like making it rain. So yeah, thank you to HollywoodRedux.com. Make sure you check out our other podcasts. We have the K-Files and the Writers Room podcast. And yeah, subscribe and like our videos below. That'll do it for us today. Make sure you check out our Twitch sessions over here.
Or over here.
Or right here.
Where are they?
I don't even know.
I'm trying to find them.
Thanks, guys.
From all of us here at Team Infinite Grenade Launcher, keep playing.